Welcome to Two Giant Goofballs, a New York Giants podcast. Are you a goofball that loves Giants football? If so, sit back and relax as we talk about the team that both excites and frustrates us so much. And now, here are your goofball hosts, Drew and Rob.
Welcome, fellow goofballs, to Giant Goofballs, a New York Giants podcast. I am Drew, joined as always by...
I'm me, Rob, and I'm not on mute today.
Oh, look at that. We can hear you. Ooh, it's a happy day. Unless Russell Wilson today.
Your ass is right on the bench.
Yeah. We're going to have a lot to talk about this whole Russell Wilson thing because I never thought I'd see the day that I feel bad for Russell Wilson. But guess what, guys? Today is that day. Today is the day that I say I feel bad for someone who made more money last week than I'll make in my entire life.
Yeah, I mean, he got done dirty.
Yep. Done dirty.
How many times that guy goes out going, "Let's ride"?
Yes. God damn it. He created a slogan for you guys and you still hate him.
Yeah. Womp.
Yeah. By the way, Connor's asking, there we go. Connor's asking to see the full shirt. Those of you guys are listening in the audio podcast. I'm sorry. This is what happens when you don't watch things live. You miss out on Rob's attire and all the decor we have on us here. And
oh, yes.
It happens.
It's an ugly sweater of me and my dog with each having a beer, saying,
"Here we go.
Ho ho ho! Holy shit! I need a beer." And my dog too.
Are you saying the dog also needs a beer, or just the beer and the dog?
Well, the two of us. He's my drinking buddy.
Just the two of us.
Yeah.
For the record, Rob does not
have
give his dog alcohol before we get some like PETA complaint or something.
Just a little bit. No.
Just a little bit. All right, let's get into some Giants news. We do have some Giants news to give you guys here today. It's not all about Russell Wilson and the picks here. We're going to give you guys that, obviously. First off, Giants did name today Tyrod Taylor as the starting quarterback this week against the Rams in a move that I think makes a lot of sense. Like I said, you've already ruined the DeVito mania. You've ruined his ego. You've ruined his confidence. You might as well move on.
Yeah, I mean, we've been saying this from the get-go. There's a reason why he was an undrafted free agent.
Oh, yeah.
So,
to me,
he had a nice Cinderella story, but
I still think it made sense to keep with him all last week and keep with him the rest of the season. Just at least give the guy some experience if he's at all part of your long-term plans. Which again, This tells me he's not, guys. He's not. So, all right. So next up here, we got one other quarterback news here. The Jaguars signed Matt Barkley off of our practice squad. So Matt Barkley's time with the New York Giants has come to an end.
We got rid of Barkley.
More positive news here. Oh yeah, oh my God, could you imagine that Barkley leaves the Giants? We just put that as this thing. That would be hilarious. Yeah. Talk about a funny clickbait there. Corey Webster officially retiring as a New York Football Giant here, which, to be very frank with you guys, I thought he was retired a long time ago. I'm not trying to be a jerk about it. He hasn't played since I think I read 2013. So I don't know what he was waiting for to retire. I mean, hell, I'm looking forward to the day I retire. I'll retire now if I got the money. Hell, shit. But yeah, he played all 9 seasons with the Giants from 2005 to 2013, was a starting corner with us, 2-time Super Bowl winner. Let's be honest here, the corners were not the stars of the New York Football Giants defense there. It was the pass rush.
Yes.
But he still had to work. He still had to put in the work. He still had to get it done. And he still got 2 rings to show for it in 9 years. That's an impressive... Yeah.
It's a good stretch.
That is 2 more rings than the Dallas Cowboys have in that time period. That is twice as many rings as the Philadelphia Eagles have in their entire franchise history.
Yeah, he just did it in the course of 9 years.
Exactly. Corey Webster has more Super Bowl rings from this millennium than the Dallas Cowboys and the Philadelphia Eagles and the Washington Commanders combined. Twice as many, in fact. Deal, people. That's facts. I just like breaking up history because the present sucks.
Yeah. Oh, God. Because we lost Barkley.
I got to remind myself here what the scent is when it smells like a Giants win here. Oh, yes.
Yeah. Smells like, man.
The whole thing is
Dirty
insane.
jockstraps.
All right. Let's get into the big topic here today. I guess this is not just topic that we're going to talk about here, even though, let's be frank, it's not a Giants topic. I don't give a shit. We talk about the entire NFL, people.
Yeah, especially today.
And that's why I always tell people, this is, if people always like, why do you get like Eagles fans and Cowboys fans on and stuff like that? Because listen, we're a Giants podcast first and foremost. But if it happens in the NFL, we're going to have an opinion. We're going to talk about it. And we want to hear y'all's opinion in the comments section as well. And this is big freaking news, guys. This is a Super Bowl champion quarterback. Went to 2 Super Bowls over. Let's be very frank. Should have had that second ring.
Yeah, you could argue that.
Should have had that second ring. They should have ran Marshawn Lynch up the freaking gut a couple of times. They had the time to do it. They had a place to do it. Let's not rehash 20, what feels like 20 years ago now, but still. You guys, the Broncos go ahead and get this guy. He's absolutely atrocious the first year. But let's be very frank. Everything pretty much except the defense for the Broncos was atrocious. It wasn't like he's the only one who didn't play well. Though, again, he was expected to take the reins. He was expected to be the guy. I get that part of it. Don't get me wrong. With the big trade, with the big contract extension, all of that comes with extra onus on him to be the guy.
Correct.
So he goes there. He shits the bed. He Amber Heard's it last season.
Oh, big time.
We made fun of him all. That's fine. It's fine. This year, he has played like an average quarterback in this league. And I'm not going to overplay that. He played like an average quarterback in this league.
And he had some good games.
And
there's some sparks of old Russell. Then again, there's also some sparks of Russell of last year coming out of some of these games.
That was static electricity.
Yes.
But,
from riding.
And I feel like they went through a good streak, obviously. He played better during that streak. He had a couple of really nice throws this year. This is not the Russell Wilson of last year. Not. Now, is he the Russell Wilson you can build a team around and win a Super Bowl? I don't know. I don't think so. But you still got this guy, and you paid him.
There's a lot of money.
Listen, and this was what they gave him. This is what they offered him. This is not Russell Wilson. You offer me a shitload of money to play football for you. I'm going to start playing football. Let me be very frank. As much as I hate the Cowboys and I hate the Eagles, if you offered me right now, and not that I wish they would, they offered me $10 million to go play for them next year. Sorry, guys. I'll start the podcast up again when we're done. We're moving to Philly. We're moving to Dallas. I'm playing.
Yeah.
Money trumps things because you're taking care of your family and stuff like that. So
I was about to say that takes care of your future, especially that kind of thing.
Exactly. It's generational wealth. That's what that is. So Russell Wilson takes that chance, takes that generational wealth from them, and plays better this year, gets them going where they're, a 500 team basically for all intents and purposes right now, with a couple weeks to go. Big improvement over last year, especially after a really crappy start.
Yeah, they were 1-5, and they won 5 straight. They had the longest active streak at the time.
Oh yeah,
games won, close games, but they still won them. Exactly.
Now we find out today. It's a report by Jordan Schultz of the Bleacher Report. I want to give him the credit because it's a good story. That the team and Russell Wilson have apparently been arguing back and forth about injury guarantees for the last few weeks, and this is. The Players Association has been involved. All kinds of people have been involved with this. The Broncos have officially benched him for Jarrett Stidham. Now, if there's anybody out there who thinks Jarrett Stidham is a better quarterback than Russell Wilson,
you couldn't even say that with a straight
please
face.
go in the comments section and say that, because I want to laugh when we see what he does next week in the game. Because it's absolutely insanity. They
Yeah.
benched this man for somebody who is a borderline backup quarterback in this league. Let's be very honest to what he is. He's a borderline. This isn't the guy that you go like, this is a quality backup I got here. This is the guy that if he's got to start for a couple games, we're not going to drop as much with some other guys. That's not what this guy is. This is the guy that barely holds on to a backup job.
Yeah, comes in the league 2019 with New England Patriots, and then has flipped to the Raiders and now the Broncos.
Exactly. We've seen him. We know what he is. It's not like some guy who's been riding the bench the last couple of years. They want to see what they got, and we know what he is. Sean Payton addressed the media today in a press conference and said that economic reasons were a factor in the decision. No shit.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, let's call it what it is. No shit. You think? Yeah. So the team initially had told him that their plan is to go ahead and add a quarterback this offseason for Russell Wilson to compete to keep the job next year and to see what happened going forward after next year.
Yeah. Although interesting, funny news. I brought up what other teams that Jarrett has played for. Do you recall who he when he started? Who did he replace? Cam Newton on the Patriots. Derek Carr on the Raiders. Yeah. So if history is repeating itself, it's not a good look for Mr. Wilson.
We've seen what he is. We know what he is. He's not good, guys. He's not good. He's definitely not the guy they were going to bring in to compete with Russell Wilson, but it's like, why is that your plan? You got a guy who's improved that you have to pay a shitload of money to next year. What the hell?
It's a greedy move because it's about his guaranteed money if he gets hurt.
And that's exactly what you're saying. So they don't want to guarantee. What this whole thing is about if he gets hurt, and I think it's like the 5th day of the new calendar year for the NFL. Keep in mind, when I say new calendar year, it's like right as free agency opens up and everything. That's what the calendar year is. So we're not talking January here. We're not talking in a week. They have to have a physical for all the players, obviously, to see how they're at and everything like that at the end of the season like that. If Russell Wilson fails a physical for any reason, obviously outside of football reasons, then all of a sudden he has a lot of more guaranteed money in 2025. And that's what this whole thing's about, is to making sure they can get out from the Russell Wilson contract. And saying, you know what they're saying? They're saying, fuck the fans. Fuck the teammates. Fuck all the people that are involved in this franchise right now. That's what they're saying. And if this happened to the Giants,
we'd be talking about this at length, at nauseum.
You think I'm pissed off? We're still talking about it nauseum, and it's not even my goddamn team. Could you imagine playing on this team? Let's say you're a pending free agent, wide receiver, tight end, running back, whatever, and you hear this team has decided to drop the better quarterback because they're worried in the off chance he might get hurt.
And here's the crazy thing, too. Is, they're technically still in the playoff hunt, no?
Yes.
So,
100%.
That's another thing that's a big FU to the fans. Granted, it's like a 1 or 5% chance.
It's barely still.
But you still got the opportunity. So, if you have the opportunity, you want the best quarterback in to play for you. And 2, they've said they benched him. They didn't say he's inactive. So if something happens to Jarrett and he has to go in, then what the hell is the point of this whole scenario?
It's about them mitigating risks and saying,
I hear you.
Screw the fans, screw this year, screw the players. It's a slap in the face to every single person involved, from the people in the stands to the guys selling the hot dogs and the beers. It's like, this is something I'm telling you. If I was a Bronco fan, if this was 2 Bronco goofballs or whatever the hell we'd call it then.
Bronco balls.
I'm telling you right now. No, we'd call it the bucking Broncos probably.
Probably.
we have to incorporate the word buck into it sounds like the F-bomb somewhere.
Yeah.
But if I was I'm telling you, this would be something that I'd be like, God damn, do I got to switch teams? Not that many teams in that area, but shit.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's because like if they just didn't make him inactive, they benched him. So he's going to be back up to Jarrett. And we've seen as Giants fans, especially this year in the NFL, there's been a lot of injured quarterbacks coming through this game. Like, so your plan is to bench him so he doesn't get hurt, and something happens in this game coming up where both these quarterbacks could potentially get hurt. Like that's not out of reach. It's not.
And don't get me wrong.
To say.
Russell Wilson has had his issues. Again, he played like crap last year. We've 100% played like crap last year. There's no doubt about this thing. He's played like shit last year. Played average this year. There was concerns I heard about something about he had his own private office and everything like that. Like they let him do all kinds of crap last year he shouldn't have done. He obviously hit the Golden Corral buffet too many times last year. My issue, as much as I feel bad for Russell Wilson in this whole thing, because the whole thing's a slap in the face to a guy that's been in the league a long time. The bigger issue I have with this is the other players and the fans.
Yeah.
Like I said, imagine being a free agent wide receiver suddenly and be told, hey, we're benching Russell Wilson. We're going to start Jarrett Stidham. I'd be like, what the fuck? I need a contract next year.
I was going to say, you're messing up my numbers.
Imagine being close to like a contract like bonus. And again, I don't know the ins and outs of all the contracts of the Broncos. I don't pretend.
No, but I hear what you're saying. Like
stuff. But imagine if you're like Jerry Jeudy and you're this close to getting a $300,000 bonus for hitting X number of catches or yards, and you get told this news.
You'd be like,
what?
Yeah.
You freaking kidding me? Jarrett Stidham? Jarrett goddamn Stidham? Like I said, this to me is such a slap in the face to so many people involving with that organization. It's not even funny. I still can't believe this is going down. And I still can't believe that this is being allowed to go down. Like there should be a rule against this, that you can't bench people for financial reasons. Now, if you want to bench them purely because they're not playing as well, you go on to bench them because, there was an issue with something they broke a team rule. I'm not saying can't bench a player because it was a former star in this league. Let's be honest, Russell Wilson, I can't call him a star anymore in this league. But that's not the issue. The issue is you can't delegitimize these last 2 games.
There's like 10 starter quarterbacks that are not playing. There should be starting quarterbacks are not playing week 17. Russell's not one of them. He should be starting.
Yes. And he's healthy. By all accounts, he's healthy. Like I said, the whole thing is just it angers me as a football fan overall, because you're taking away from the quality of the NFL, which is something I enjoy watching. I spend a lot of time watching. Obviously, we spend a lot of time talking about. It's a slap in the face, guys. It really is. And this is something that should not be allowed. And I hope when they do the next round of negotiations with the players union actually, and I hate to say it this way to a certain degree too, because let's be honest, if this happens, we're probably going to have a little bit of game break here. I don't know what kind of podcast we'd have during a strike, but it's right. The Players Association needs to get a pair of freaking huevos. For those who don't know, that's Spanish for balls.
Eggs.
Well, I'm saying it's just absolutely ridiculous. I mean, the salary cap for the NFL, $224.8 million is the salary cap this year. Okay. And you're talking, this is the most profitable, profitable sport in the entire, country. That's where they're at. So the New York Yankees, for example, I'm looking it up just to even verify what their payroll is this year. And I'm trying to find it here for you guys. I'll give you that number as soon as I hear it and see it and can verify it's true. But it's
they're actually under their cap, which is pretty amazing. They don't have to pay luxury tax. They've done it.
But not want to use them. Okay. Let's do it this way. Let's go to the Dodgers.
There you go.
The Dodgers. And that's with the deferred money they're going to have at that point to their new star. $234 million. That's it. You're telling me that the NFL salary cap, 224, the Dodgers, 234. You tell me the Los Angeles Dodgers are a more profitable team than an NFL team? There's no baseball. I'm sorry. Listen, I was a former baseball guy more worldwide. I just don't like this. But what I'm saying is, you think that the Dodgers or any baseball organization is making more money than an NFL, which just piles on money like you would not believe.
The only one I would disagree is the Yankees. They're one of the most profitable franchises in the world.
Yeah, because that's obviously
the logo.
It's a brand. It's a brand.
Yeah.
It's like, and I hate to say it, it's like the Cowboys. It's like Manchester United. It's that kind of thing. It's like it's a brand thing. The Lakers, it's a brand. Like I said, to me, this just is insane. Like the Players Association has to do something about this, and they have to figure out a way to get a bigger cut of money. They have to figure out a way to protect these players. And again, listen, I'm not saying they're poor. I'm not trying to say Russell Wilson is poor, but the fact that these guys are literally fighting basically to even live a normal life, some of these guys later on when they're older, and they get shit on every single chance they can. They really do. These players are not protected. They're not protected. They had the league has hit concussion issues. They didn't pay them nearly as much as they should for how long. There's been issues with players afterwards not getting medical attention. This is another black eye for the league.
Yeah, I'm trying to hide it all under the rug. Like, CTE, what's that? We don't know what it is.
Yeah, this to me is just another black eye for the league saying, you know what? I know you signed this contract, but we're going to let them just not play you just so they can avoid paying you.
Yeah, that's just like saying you have like a different quarterback that has all these incentive pays, and you decided to bench him last 2 weeks because you don't want him to set the incentives. It's the same kind of move.
Yeah, like I said, it just pisses me off. Now, Diana Rossini of The Athletic is saying that they're going to be going ahead and cutting Russell Wilson in March, which, from a Giant fan perspective, interesting because we do need a quarterback. I don't think that's the route they would go, but I wouldn't be surprised if somebody tries to make that rumor up. Now, what makes no sense to me is, again, we have things like over the cap you can look at for salary cap issues and stuff like that. To me, I don't understand how they plan on doing that, because according to over the cap, if they cut him, they're going to lose almost $50 million additional. No, 80. It's going to be $85 million in dead cap space when they would have to pay him 35, according to over the cap. Which
I heard that earlier as well.
So either they're going to bite a big bullet to get rid of him, or they're going to go ahead and there's something we don't know about in this contract. Now, I can tell you this: they can cut him post June 1st and break even, according to over the cap.
Yeah,
but that's not typically done.
They're paying out a lot of money. They've hired lawyers to go over these contracts and agreements.
Money,
way more than we could understand and read from it. So there's definitely something there that they probably know that we don't know. And two, you go into this draft, you can get a pretty good quarterback. It's a way cheaper option especially in like the second round where they could go and get his quote unquote replacement or someone to work.
Oh yeah.
You know? So
like I said, this whole situation's insane. We're
granted,
going like a 20-minute rant, I feel like, in this. And it's
Yeah.
probably the longest
Granted,
rant.
it's like paying your new rookie quarterback $50 million because you want to cut someone else. Or 85.
It just really annoys me. For some reason, it really irks me. It really does. But it is what it is. Like, I can't control it.
Yeah.
I'm just glad I'm not a Bronco fan. If you are a Bronco fan or a player, I feel bad for you right now. I really do. Because this might be in the best interest long term of the team. It's one of those kind of moves. If that's their plan to get rid of Russell Wilson. But in the meantime, you're just throwing up the bird in the middle finger to everybody who involved in the franchise right now. And that's sad.
Season and everything. Yeah.
Yep, that's sad.
No buenos.
All righty. Let's get into the comments here. Then we'll pay the bills. And then we're going to go into the picks here because we got a very special comment here. I saw.
Yeah, I was going to say.
So, let's see. Connor said your shirt's awesome, by the way, Rob.
Thanks, Connor.
Then he says you have to treat a man's best friend correctly. Yeah. They only live roughly 10 years, maybe 15. Let them drink beer, eat McDonald's, and some barbecue ribs. Maybe that's why the dogs only last 10 years for you, Connor. I'm just saying. As he corrects himself as his man's best friend. Maybe that's why they're only lasting 10 years, because they should last longer than 10 years, unless you have like a Great Dane or something that's freaking massive.
Yeah, he's a pity. I should get 15 out of him. Yeah, hopefully.
Connor says, question, if they can get rid of Russell Wilson and he has a lot of years left. I don't know, Connor, have you been having whiskey or something? What's going on here? Why can't they do the same with Daniel Jones and spread out the? Oh, I'm going to have a translator of this whole thing. Spread out the dead money like the Broncos will do if we're starting over. Again, and everything depends on the contract. We don't ever know fully what's in a contract. If people guess, people get told things. They try to put things together. Like I said, over the cap is kind of the one that a lot of people will use for trying to figure things out, but they don't have all the information either. So unless you actually get a full, look at the contract itself, you don't know. So who knows? Yeah. Maybe there's an out we're unaware of. Maybe there's, more incentive money than we realize. Maybe there's something we're just unaware of in this contract. But I can tell you,
a lot of people hear a number on that contract and don't realize that's including incentives.
Yeah. And like I said, by our numbers that we're saying, they're going to eat a lot of money. They're going to cut them post June 1st to avoid eating a lot of money, at least for the 1 year. Or there's something we're just unaware of in this contract. We'll find out in March, trust me. When it happens, if it does, if she's right, we're going to find out. He says, let's be frank, always wonder where that came from. Frank Barone, holy crap. I don't think that's what it is, but Everybody Loves Raymond was a damn good show. You know what? That's the one that should have come back and become popular, not Friends. That was a real show. Screw Friends. I just hate Friends. I don't know. I never got into Friends.
I was never a big Friends fan.
I was never a big fan. And you know what? I'm sorry, but look at Ross, look at Rachel. That would never happen in the real world. She'd be like, oh my God, no.
He's so whiny.
It's not just, it's like his character was annoying as all hell. I don't know why it was. Let's see. Deb says, I'm not crazy about Sean Payton. Hey, listen, I'm going to put it this way. If you are a big ticket free agent in the NFL, and I doubt any of them are watching our program, but if they are, just in the off chance, if they are, I want you to call up the Broncos when you're legally allowed to and say, you know what? You did my boy Russell Wilson wrong. Fuck you. I'm not coming.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Deuces.
Because that's what's going to send a message is when the Broncos have trouble getting legit players to come because they're going to be treated just as crappy as Russell Wilson was today. And the rest of the team, like I said, I shouldn't even say just Russell Wilson. All of the Broncos were treated crappy today.
100%.
With this move. So I don't know why I'm so fired up. It's not even my team. I don't know why. It's got me fired up. It really does. Connor says, I always love how coaches or players get irate and start screaming in huge guys' faces. Who the fuck do you think you're talking to that bitch? I love to see one of them beat coach or QB's asses. LOL. Yeah, try to talk trash to Sexy Dexy. Let's see what happens.
Yeah,
He
right.
probably laugh at it. To be honest, he doesn't strike me as the angry type, and it's funny because
No.
he plays with anger. He does play with.
Let's say he definitely plays with violence, but
yeah. He doesn't strike me as that guy for some reason. I don't know why. And it's funny because you know what the guys are who really ever show like anger sometimes, especially in interview stuff? It's the wide receivers, it's the corners, it's the little guys, this little chihuahua thing. The little chihuahua, you know, it's like it's not the big offensive lineman. That's the guy that wants to like take everybody out to a pasta dinner and hug everybody afterwards. That's the guy who
That's because the corners and the wide receiver have to cut weight. And they don't have to cut weight, but they have to keep their diet, keep themselves slim to move themselves faster. As a lineman could just eat all the pasta he wants.
I think part of it is, and maybe it's again, I'm really the size of, I guess, a really overly tall NFL receiver. Like a tight end size, I guess, more. But
yeah,
being a bigger guy, and I don't deal with other bigger people on a regular basis like you do when you're a professional athlete. I think maybe it's part of it is because when you're like 6'5", 330 pounds, no one's gonna mess with you. You never have to have your guard up. No one's going on the street saying, I'm gonna mess with this 330-pound guy. 350, 360. You know, some of these guys are like 400 pounds, like Mekhi Becton. I mean, that's just what it is. They're just jolly because they go through life with nobody ever messing with them.
The chest is the size of a egg.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, whereas you're a 210-pound guy, someone's still going to mess with you.
Yeah.
At some point.
But even still, like, I met Steve Smith Jr., and I was way bigger than he was.
Yeah. Well, obviously, some of those guys, yeah. I mean, look at Tank Dell.
Yeah.
Had a hell of a good rookie year until he got hurt. But perfect example.
Sure.
People probably mess with him occasionally.
Probably. That's why I got hurt.
Exactly. Anyway. We got the big news here next. Dakota. Hopefully he's not messing with us. He says, my son was born today at 6:58 p.m. I'm just going to say this, Dakota. Go spend time with your family. We appreciate you watching this show, but go spend time with your family, man. Unless they're all sleeping. In that case, keep watching.
Yeah. Escape.
Let's be honest. Baby and mom are tired probably at that point. They had a busy day. Busier than Dakota's day. And look at Connor even says congrats Dakota after all the BS between the two of them at that point. Deb says congrats Dakota. Did you name him Jalen? Connor says that a good one. Beef says because Wilson believes he can do whatever he wants in the locker room and he's not going to do that with Peyton. I don't think that's what it is.
Rumors coming out this year. You heard it last year, not so much this year.
I think a lot of this move is more the fact that he's not playing top tier. And let's be honest, Sean Payton needs to win at a second spot to look good.
Yes. And Drew Brees and Russell Wilson are two completely different quarterbacks. Their style of play is different. So, like, Peyton Manning needs a system. Like, not saying that Drew Brees is a system quarterback, but what he's good at is count paces, throwing the ball into a stride. Russell, so tiny, just like Drew Brees, but like he needs to get out of the pocket and be more like inventive on the fly. And Payne needs to be in control. Yeah.
I think that I think he did clarify. He said, "Thanks, guys. I had to come home and feed and walk the dogs." Yes, feed and walk the dogs. Don't. But no, seriously.
Not McDonald's.
Congrats on the little one there. That's an exciting day for you, man. I hope you and the whole family are just enjoying that because that's a day you don't forget. At least what I've heard. I don't have kids myself, but
I got none that I know.
I don't know. I can imagine.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a big day. I mean, so again, congrats, man. But yeah, I said, I think this whole move really was what it boils down to is because of his play, not because of that. And interesting to think about is if they tank these last two games, they're right now, they're at what position at? They're at number 14 in the draft right now. Let's say they lose both games because they did this move. And I haven't looked at their full schedule. I think I picked them to win this week still, if I remember right. I think you did as well, Rob.
Yeah,
But
because they're playing the
they're
Chargers.
playing the Chargers, right?
Yeah, which is another team that is.
Yeah. But here's the interesting thing to think about. If this helps their draft, and let's say hypothetically they get around like pick 10 because they lose one game or both games or whatever because of this move, does this put them in the realm of like a Bo Nix? Does this put them in the realm of a Michael Penix?
It could be.
We have another team we're competing with now for a quarterback, because that's what I'm taking this as potential. As it's not like there's any big name quarterbacks that are going to be available in free agency.
No.
So
Russell Wilson.
I don't think that's happening.
Yeah.
That'd be the weirdest, crazy thing ever. Can you imagine they cut him and then just re-sign him at that point? But
a lot less.
But again, that's one thing to think about from a Giants fan perspective. We have another team that's competing with us now. I mean, do they do all kinds of crazy picks and try to throw, their weight into, let's say Arizona decides they want to keep Kyler Murray and they try to get a pick 2 and take a Drake May?
I mean, like I said earlier in the year, I think the Bears might do something crazy, give up that number 1 for a lot of picks this year.
I don't think so. Honestly,
I think they're going to stick with Fields. I'm telling you.
I think Fields has played better. I don't think he's a legit. Here's the thing, and I'll give it to people who are legit Bears fans that do it more than I do. Don't get me wrong. I don't pretend to watch all 22 tape on him on a regular basis, but I have occasionally because I'm curious. Because let's be honest, if it wasn't for the Giants, they wouldn't have Justin Fields. So when I look at the situation we're in now, and I go, "Oh shit, we better off just taking Justin Fields ourselves at that point." Hindsight's 2020, obviously.
Yeah.
But when I watch all 22 tape, I see a quarterback who makes some decent throws sometimes. But I also see it's much like Daniel Jones in the fact that there's guys that are open he misses. And I don't mean like misses like doesn't throw them the ball. I mean, he doesn't even see they're open.
Yeah. There's some of that. The Bears have also had a lot of other issues just besides, the quarterback, like a lot of coaching issues and a lot of flipping over with Fields.
Yeah.
Plus, who they're going to take Caleb in the first round?
Oh,
you're going to get the same kind of play, but at least you know what you got in Justin Fields. Here's
my point, though. Let's talk about the ceiling of Justin Fields. Where do you see the ceiling of Justin Fields? Really, honestly, do you see him as a Super Bowl caliber quarterback in this league eventually?
It depends on how you say it like that. But
what I'm saying is, do you think this is a guy you're going to build a team around and you're going to win a Super Bowl with? Yes or no?
They could be definitely competitive.
You just answered your question by not saying it.
I know. Because you're saying the same thing, but you're going to be like, Caleb might be your guy, so go get Caleb. But Caleb
No. Here's what I'm trying to say is, if he's not your guy to win a Super Bowl with, I'm not saying Caleb's your guy. I'm not saying that. You know what? Where I'm at with Caleb Williams. And I think Chicago is one of the few cities that has a similar media structure like New York does, where he's going to be under a lot of scrutiny. Not as much as New York. That's the media capital of the world. But he still will be. What I'm getting at, if you're Chicago and you don't think you're going to win a Super Bowl with this guy, that he's not that caliber, and you have the number 1 overall pick in one of the potentially best quarterback classes to come out in a while, and you have only 1 year left on the rookie deal, potentially with Justin Fields, depending on what you do with that 5th-year option.
Yeah.
You got to take that. You got to take the shot and make the move. I think the Bears would be stupid not to move on. I really do. And Dakota's signing off, man. Again, Dakota, congrats, man.
Congratulations, man.
Congrats, man. Seriously.
I mean, we're 40 minutes and we even haven't got to our
picks. This is going to be one of those hour-and-a-half episodes. Hey, Connor, you were complaining last night's episode was too short. Ha ha. Ha ha. But
here's my take on that. So I understand what you're saying, and I get that. But you have Fields for 1 more year. You give up one of those draft picks to gain a lot in the 2025, or even move around, and you could build more pieces around that unit and become a significantly better team. and then try to get something out of next year's draft, because you don't know what they're scouting. They may find a quarterback that's a junior or a sophomore that they really like, that they might be trying to go for.
I think
you see Caleb in number 1. They may not like that. They may not want to get a pocket passer instead of someone that's going to be running around like those two guys.
I would say history has shown that for the most part, what's happening now for the Chicago Bears to get the Carolina Panthers first, round pick and have it be the first pick in the draft is not a very normal scenario.
No.
Because usually that means you're giving somebody the best player in the draft and their team's going to improve. Just happens to be that the Panthers are stupid and picked the wrong quarterback, much like we said they shouldn't do. Again, I'm gonna keep on beating that dead horse because you and I were right about that one. We said C.J. Stroud was the quarterback to take, not Bryce Young. We said they were stupid, and obviously we're shown to be correct on that. But if you get the chance to take the best quarterback in a very quarterback-rich draft, regardless of who you think the best quarterback is in this draft, for all I know, it's Drake May for them. And I we'll talk about Drake May more as the draft time comes. I'm still not sold on him, but I'm also not off him either. Again, I can't when you're playing the Camels and the Appalachian states of the world, I'm sorry. I have trouble saying, oh, this is a freaking amazing quarterback. We got to get this guy. I get it. Mechanics, blah, blah, blah. I need to see him against better. But what I'm just saying is, if Fields is not your guy to win a Super Bowl with, I say, let's knock my gnome over. If Fields is not a guy to win a Super Bowl with, then we're going to move him up. So we'll do that again. Oh, no. But if Fields is not your guy to win a Super Bowl with, you got to move on when you have the chance to. Before you have to be like where next year, let's say there's no quarterback option for them, and they decline the fifth-year option because they got to make this move this offseason with that option. And now, guess what? They're paying him Daniel Jones money. I think, to me, they got to take a quarterback.
Time will tell.
And to me, take the quarterback. And now you got, like I said, you got multiple teams.
Listen, they still got the third. As it sits right now, did they get the third or fourth pick in the draft?
No, they keep winning. That's the problem for them.
Yes.
They're at the 8th overall pick.
Oh, wow. I didn't realize.
So don't get me wrong. They can get a good quarterback at the 8th overall pick potentially because there's a lot in this draft. But if you listen to guys who have done a ton of research on these quarterbacks, and they think the first two were that good. Again, I don't necessarily agree with that mindset. But if that's the case, then you're going to have guys, Drake May, Caleb Williams, you could have had your pick at them. And if one of those balls out and you took Marvin Harrison Jr., you're going to look really freaking stupid.
Yeah. You could look like the Carolina Panthers.
You could. As if the Carolina Panthers took, Jackson Smith and the Jigbo. That kind of player. Unless Marvin Harrison Jr. is the second coming of Puka Nacua next year, you're going to look really freaking stupid. And that doesn't happen very often, guys. This is the guy's about to set rookie records.
Yeah.
It's going to be hard pressed to tell me that when you need a quarterback, because your quarterback has proven he's not a Super Bowl caliber quarterback, at least in my eyes. You can disagree or agree. You're an idiot if you don't take a quarterback. My own 2 cents.
Yeah.
Anyway, we got more comments. We got more comments here.
Let's get out of Chicago area.
Dakota's gone. I know we're talking Chicago and Denver so much on the Giant Goofball podcast here. It's like,
oh, this orange.
Let's see here. I see. Connor says no name yet. A few ideas, no name yet. Connor suggests South or North Dakota. No, Dakota's his first name, not his last name. He says take pics, videos, record videos, Dakotas that grow up quick. And yeah, listen, that's any parent you talk to always says that. Connor says, fast. I read they are spreading dead cap over 2 or 3 years. I've read that as well. Again, I don't know how they're doing that unless there's something written in the contract. And that's the problem. We don't have that information. Yeah. Dakota says, thanks, guys. Oh, yeah, we already read this one here. He doesn't need to thank us again. Connor says, okay, go away, Dakota, LOL. Deb says, Bears could take Harrison as a weapon from Fields. Again, I get that mentality, but that's to me, it's only if you think Fields is showing you improvement enough to where you feel confident that this is a guy you want to build around for your future. But if that's the case, you're picking up that 5th-year option. You're probably giving him an extension at the end of next year. And if you're wrong, you may not be in this position again. That's the problem you run into.
Or if they're wrong, they could be in this position again because they're terrible.
Depending on it, let's be honest. If they go into the Giants scenario at that point, again, we're pick number 5 right now. Who knows where we're going to be when this whole thing is done at this point? But don't you think that if Joe Shane had his say, he'd love to be pick number 1 and be able to pick whatever quarterback he wants?
I hear you.
I'm just saying, there's to me, it's a very risky proposition. Then Connor says, "Puka, puka, puka, fun to say." Oh well.
Puka, 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 puka.
I'm not sure if we're wrong for doing that or not, but it is fun. Anyway, let's get into the actual games themselves here, because this is a picks episode, guys, and we're 48 minutes in and haven't mentioned even a single goddamn pick, and that's my own fault.
That's not true. That's not true, because we both took the Broncos over the Chargers.
I said I believe we did. I didn't confirm it because
I'm pretty sure I didn't look at your
scenario. Yeah, I didn't look at yours too much because I tried to look at mine, and I did glance over yours afterwards, but I did pick mine first. Anyway, let's get into the actual picks here. First up, Thursday night.
Whoa. Got to recap. Drew, you got 9 against the spread. Or 9 straight up.
I know. I don't like my picks this past week here. So
well, that puts you at 143 right picks for the year.
Yeah.
You also had 8 against the spread, putting you at 111 for the year. 6 on your over-unders at 100.
It is what, 16 games last week, I think I remember. Because they're all playing now. So yeah. So I mean, I still did better than 500 of those, but still.
Yeah, you still did good.
Problem is you beat me, and I don't like that.
Yeah, trifecta, you got a goose egg.
Oh my God. You and I both the trifectas this week were just.
Yeah, I mean, at least I got some. Yeah. So I was 12 straight up and 12 against the spread, putting me at 147.
Rocking it again. Rocking it.
And 130 against the spread on the year. I had 5 over-unders. Give me 113 for the year with 2 trifectas, leaving me at 54 to your 50.
I hope my mic's not being too sensitive. I just stepped in a duck.
Ooh.
Deserved that duck.
Yeah. All right. Now we can go into Thursday Night Football.
It's the first part of the podcast. Somebody felt the need to announce they farted. I'm like, whatever.
I was about to say, no one's going to know. That's why I hit the mic. You hit the mute button.
Luckily, I have the Giants. It smells like a Giants win candle to light in case of emergency. Yeah, let's get into those picks now.
Let's get into.
We're gonna do the quick picks here, but we are gonna give you guys a little news on where each team is at as far as draft wise or playoff wise. Because let's be honest, every single team cares because of one of those two. One of those 2 reasons at that point. Unless you're the Carolina Panthers, because who gives a shit?
Yeah, because they just they done
call it like it is, guys. They
All right,
got
so
nothing to play for except for their hope streams. Thursday night.
And find a new coach. Thursday night.
Yes, you're right on that.
You got the Jets going into Cleveland playing them Browns. Say flaming hot Browns? Because they've been on fire with Flacco.
If they were a cheetah brand.
Flaming hot. Jets are +7 on the road, and the over-under in this game is 35 points. Drew, what's your thoughts on this?
Well, we got the big thing is where the players or the teams are at here. So the Jets have the pick number 9 overall. Obviously, they're probably going to be looking for a lineman because they have Aaron Rodgers for at least 1 more year, and their line is horrible. They'll probably get a top flight tackle in that kind of spot there.
Probably.
The interesting thing is that Robert Saleh went on the record saying they don't regret not signing Joe Flacco when they had the chance. I wonder if that's actually true.
I also heard
Let's
that
see.
Flacco did
See.
not want
Cool.
to come back.
Hold on. My bullshit meter. Bullshit meter.
Oh, bring it back over. You got to break something.
Yeah. Oh, are you kidding me? Aaron Rodgers should be playing this game if that's the case, and be playing for a playoff spot, probably the way the freaking Joe Flacco's playing. Let's be honest.
Yeah, he has been lights out this coming back. He literally was a week 11. He was sitting there on his mom's couch eating potato chips, and all of a sudden got called up. And
He's not Tommy DeVito.
I mean, he looks like he has been like he was on that run when he was with the Ravens when he won the Super Bowl.
He is a Jersey boy.
So I also heard that Flacco said no to the Jets because he was tired of getting beat up.
Like I said, I didn't hear that part, but I'll tell you point blank, the one I kept on hearing was Carson Wentz wanted to play for the Jets. That's the one I kept on hearing. And I still think they're freaking morons for not bringing one of those two guys in. I would have, and don't get me wrong. Again, hindsight being 2020, I would have said that Joe Flacco was the better option considering how he's playing with the Browns. But if you had told me at the beginning, I would have said, well, Flacco is better than Zach Wilson, but he's washed up. But again, you got Carson Wentz there, who could at least still has a live arm.
Well, I mean, you got the great, I shouldn't say great, but you have really good offensive line with Cleveland. And
yeah,
they also don't have their number one running back.
They also don't have some of their linemen even.
Yeah.
And a lot of the linemen are hurt too. But you know what they have? They have Bill Callahan. Just shows you. Coaching matters.
Coaching.
Mike Bunchak, if you're listening, we want you. Open checkbook. God damn it. Be the best offensive lineman coach available this offseason. For those who aren't aware of who he is. Anyway.
How you feeling about this game, Drew?
I feel like this game is just, luckily it's a home game for Cleveland because it's not going to go well for the Jets fans. I'll put it that way. I got the Browns to win. I think the Browns will cover the spread. I think that it'll be an under because the Browns have a damn good defense. We've talked about this before, even though they've been showing up once in the blue moon.
Top tier.
And what's going to end up happening is what happens when a really bad offense meets a really good defense typically.
A sharp lacking.
Yeah. It's not usually good for the offense. So, therefore, Browns offense flying high, Jets offense poop against a really good Browns defense. They're going to ground
those Jets. Ooh.
Yeah. So, Browns under.
I agree with you 100% for a lot of same reasons. You got two pretty good defenses going against each other and a red-hot Joe Flacco right now with a lackluster Jets offense. So, yeah. I believe the Jets will lose, with the spread. The Browns will cover, but that's just because their offense.
And the Browns still have something to play for, by the way. They have the top wild card spot. They're probably not going to catch up. I think I don't know if they're mathematically yet eliminated from the division.
I don't think they're out of it yet.
But they're not going to win the division. Let's call it what it is.
It's going to be really hard for them to win that division.
But they're the top seed in the wild card, so they're still in a spot where because they're top seed. Listen, top seed in the wild card is not a bad place to be, guys. That means you play the worst division winner in your league. Ask the Dallas Cowboys what they think about that in a couple weeks when they're playing the Bucks.
Oh, listen, Bucks are red hot right now, but we'll talk about them later. So would they play Kansas City in the 4th seed?
Is that where I got to look at the AFC standings to be honest with you to see where we're at.
Because the number one is probably
going to be. I look so much more.
You probably have Ravens, Miami.
They play the Jaguars as of right now. That's what I'm saying. It's not a bad spot to be the number one wild card because you play whoever the worst division winner is, and the Jaguars aren't necessarily going to be the winner in that. They're winner right now, but they're technically in a 3-way tie where they have the tiebreaker with the Colts and the Texans. So we got some games to play to figure that out yet.
And the Jags with the high ankle sprain there with Lawrence. Anyway, let's go to Saturday night.
But to your point there, whoever has the second wild card spot plays the Chiefs. So who would you rather play, the Chiefs or the Jaguars?
Listen, definitely the Jaguars with a banged up quarterback because especially with the Chiefs are not looking good, but they could always go on a playoff tear.
I'm just saying this is this is still a game that means something to the Browns because they know how important it is to keep that top wild card spot. The Browns winning a playoff game is the equivalent of a Super Bowl.
It really is.
I hate to say it that way. No disrespect to the Cleveland fans because they're real fans sticking around that shitty franchise for so long. But that's where we're at. They wanted to put up a statue of Baker Mayfield after he won one. I think they've only won, 2 or 3 playoff games in 20 some odd years now since they came back.
Probably. Imagine Flacco playing the Ravens in the AFC Championship game.
That'd be freaking amazing.
Revenge game.
That'd be freaking amazing. He'd have no shot, but I'd still be a fun matchup thing to watch. Anyway, next up.
Saturday night. We got one game this Saturday. You got the Lions going into Dallas. Lions are +6, and the over-under is 43.5 points.
Mm-hmm.
This game should be fun to watch.
Real quick, before you go into that, we got to make sure we give the notes here. You got because this is an important concept of this thing.
This one's a very important.
This one really is. Both teams are still fighting for something right now.
Were you going to go into it? Or
no? Oh, I thought you were going to do it necessarily. I just making sure you didn't forget that part. We don't usually do that, but we got to add this here because that's key.
It is. Pulling up those notes.
Here, I'll give you this one then. So the Lions already won the division, but they're still gunning for home field in the playoffs overall. Again, keep in mind, top seed gets a bye week. That's a big thing here for teams to get healthy and stuff like that. They're technically a 3-way tie with the Eagles and the 49ers. So the 49ers had the tiebreaker, so right now they're the top seed. I believe the Lions are number 2 in that tiebreaker status there. They have a tiebreaker over the Eagles. So what that means is if they win the next 2 games and the Niners lose 1 game, they automatically will get home field throughout. So they're still playing for something, even though they've won the division. This is not we can just rest the players and not give a damn what happens kind of thing.
Yeah.
They want to rest the players in week 19.
Correct. When you got a very good seed in.
Yes. Exactly. So Cowboys, meanwhile, they are 1 game back from the Eagles. They're still not technically out of it, but they would have to go ahead and win both games and have the Eagles lose both games. Since the Eagles play us again in 2 weeks, it's probably not going to happen. And they play the Cardinals, I think, this week too as well. We could talk about that in there. Have that up top of my head. So yeah, Eagles will win that division. But again, we talked about before, but the Jaguars thing. If you are the Cowboys, you probably want to keep that top seed in the wild card because you're going to play whoever wins that dreadful NFC South. Even though the Bucs been playing better lately. But still, I'd rather play the Bucs than play anybody else who's going to win a division right now.
Yeah.
So
100%. But the Bucs have been hot. They're so hot right now.
Still the Bucs.
For the NFC.
Sorry. I can't.
Yeah.
The offense is pitiful. And that's me saying as a Giant fan. I know we have a shitty offense. We have like the second shittiest in the entire league. So when I'm talking shit about your offense, that's not good.
All right. So I'm going to take Dallas to win this game at home. But I think the Lions will keep it close enough when they lose. And I'm going over on this points. Because we know that Dallas at home will put up 27 points by themselves on average. Yep. 30 points. And the Lions are still going to fight it. Very few times have they lost in like a dud game this past year.
I'm agreeing with most of what you have on this game here, but I do have the Cowboys winning and the spread as well, just because of the fact I feel like the Cowboys have a history of playing really well at home. And I understand the Lions are not the typical team to come into Dallas, but they tend to destroy at home and get crushed on the road, which again, number 1 wild card spot means they are going on the
road again.
So that should be interesting with the playoffs there. I'm telling you right now, I might go to that game if that's what happens, just to watch the Cowboys lose in person.
Yeah. Ha ha, Dak, you're getting fired.
All righty. Next up.
Sunday. 1 o'clock. There's a lot of 1 o'clock games. I guess they wanted to get these guys home. Games. I guess they want to get these guys home for New Year's.
Screw Monday, apparently.
Right? Yeah, exactly. All right, Sunday, 1 o'clock. You got Miami going into Baltimore. Miami's +4 on the road with the over-under at 47 points. Is right. Dolphins are 1 game back from the Ravens for the AFC home field advantage. So,
yeah, both teams are directly affecting their own spots here.
Luckily for the Ravens, that Miami's terrible against good teams.
Terrible, so terrible.
Horrible.
Terrible.
Yes. Drew, what do you think about this game?
Well, you already said it as far as that. Miami just doesn't typically play good teams very well. Ravens just beat up a really good team in the Niners at that point. That defense looked something special there. So as much as the offense has looked special in the in some of the games that the Dolphins have played this year, I'm going to give it to the Ravens. Defense beats offense typically 9 times out of 10. That's NFL history at its finest. So I got Ravens, and I got under.
I agree with you with a lot of that. I went Ravens in the over because I do think, yes, the defense will show up, but so will the offense. But I feel like it might be one of those trap games. It's a trap.
It's a trap. See, I got I'm thinking like a. This is going to be a game that's going to be like I want to say the Dolphins will still score like 21 points, and you'll get just enough, like a 21 to 26. Like I think it's gonna be just under that under there. I mean, obviously Vegas knows what the hell. Yeah. Vegas knows what they're doing, guys. They there's a reason why they come up with these numbers. It's not just they pull them out of their hat. Let's be honest. The Dolphins are still going to score.
Yes.
And if the Ravens going to beat them, they got to score more.
Yeah, especially with Tyreek Hill there. Is he healthy? Yeah. Is he playing this week?
I haven't heard a full on him at that point, but either way, I still think this is one of the few teams that can figure it out with him because there's just the defense is that good.
Yeah, no, I agree.
I mean, they're not going to stop him. They're going to somewhat contain him. He's in that category. You don't want to. You're never going to stop him. But if you can get him to stop at like 50, 60 yards, then you won.
Yes, 100%. All right. I want to talk about a game that doesn't have too much dependent on it. The Patriots, I guess, are going for a better drafts pick, even though they won again. They're going up to Buffalo, play them Josh Allen. Them Josh Allens. The Pats are plus.
Buffalo's still playing for something.
They are. The Pats are plus 12 in this game, and the over-under is 40.5 points. The Buffalo is still playing for the wild card spot. If they would have won last week and went out and see what happens with the Dolphins, like they had the potential to actually win in the division, but that's not going to happen for them. So they need to pretty much win out to make sure they get to the wild card.
Well, right now they're in one, so they just got to play better than everybody else they're competing against for a wild card spot. Basically, that's what it boils down to, or at least play equal to. And the Patriots is all about the draft pick. That's what it's all about. I mean, talk about a team that just totally, like you said, they won. There goes the tank theory that we had when they beat us, when we beat them, because let's be very frank, the Patriots should have hit that field goal, should have tied it up, and it should have gone to overtime. A freaking Pop Warner team could have hit that field goal. But yeah, they're 4-11 now. They're at pick number 4.
It's a great record. 4-11 for the 4 spot.
Yeah. We can't talk. We're at 5 wins. Stop.
Yeah, no. But yes, I'm going to take Buffalo to win this game. I do think that spread is a little too spicy for me to bite into. So I'm going to stick with the Pats with that spread. And I'm taking the under in this game. This is going to be one of those close divisional games where Buffalo should squeak it out. Even if they win by a touchdown, that 12 is a lot to bite into.
This is the game. This is the game that cost Bill Belichick his decision to be able to walk away if he wants to or stay one more year. That's where I'm at. That's how bad I think this is going to be a brutal loss for them. Ooh. Buffalo's been playing better lately.
Spicy.
I think they're going to spank the freaking Patriots so much they'll be crying to the King of England.
Jolly good, jolly good.
Yes, they'll be taking the tea back out of the ocean. But yeah, I got Bills. I do have unders. I think they're going to spank them, but I think they're going to spank them to the point where it's not that the Bills, are competing tit for tat with the offense for the Patriots. The offense of the Patriots can't score shit.
Oh yeah. Do we got Zappy or?
Yeah, this is going to be like a 27-3 kind of just that kind of beating. I really think so.
That would be impressive. I wouldn't mind seeing that. Up next, you got the Falcons going into Chicago. Talk about them Bears. Yeah, Bears.
Bears.
The Falcons are +3, and the over-under on this game is at 38. The Falcons, I mean, they're like, if they were a person, they would have a punchable face as a football team. Like
the hell is
they're like that
face.
They have that organization where it's like they don't know what they want to win. Like they could win the AFC South, win this game, or be in the hunt for it still. I don't think they're going to catch up to the Bucs. They lose this game. Like, do they miss out on the wild card? Can they still make the wild card mathematically?
So they're technically one game out of the wild card and the NFC South.
Yes.
So they'd have to win out, and people would have to make some losses for them to get in. But it's not technically out of the question, And I'm telling you this, as a Giant fan, I want them to win because what does that team need? Quarterback.
Yeah.
I'm at that point of the season that I'm looking at your corner. I'm looking at your cornerback room and saying, does this team need an upgrade? If so, I want them to win.
It's a good way to look at it.
That's where I'm at because I'm quarterback or bust. If we take anything but a quarterback, I'm going to be pissed. Unless Joe Shane just adamant he hates these quarterbacks out there. And I'll take him, okay, like at least he stuck to his guns. But we have to get a franchise quarterback in this draft. I'm sorry.
It's the hopes.
Yeah. And the Bears, they're at pick number 8. So they still care. They want to lose. But they want to also win if they're a Bears player, especially Justin Fields, as we talked about earlier. I mean, they got the first round pick.
I was about to say they got the first round.
First overall pick, no matter what. Yeah. So this is just like their bonus pick.
Yeah. Bonus first round pick.
Exactly. So I mean, to me, the Bears have been playing really good the last couple of weeks. The Falcons have not. There've been talks about already getting rid of the coach. There've been talks about what to do at the quarterback position, as we said. Taylor Heineke is supposed to be starting in this one again. Again, he's a good leader. He's not a good quarterback, but he's better than Desmond Ridder is. But that's not saying much. This gnome could probably play better than Desmond Ridder.
Yeah, he had some really bad interceptions this year. Really bad ones.
For the record, this gnome is also the size of Bryce Young.
Just about.
But yeah, I think that the Bears will win. The Bears will obviously cover because they're 3 points is not that much of a difference there at that point there. And I do think over on the points, as much as the Falcons have a decent defense, I think that the Bears been putting up some offensive energy there. And I think it's not asking that much for 38 points between the two teams. It's really not.
I think it's a lot to ask for Falcons to put up anything half near there.
Listen, they put 10 points up. You don't think the Bears can put up 28?
I don't know if they're going to put up 38 against the Falcons. I went with the under.
No.
I'm taking
the Bears won't put 38 up. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying they're all by themselves. But if they can put 28 up.
Yeah, but I see it more being like a 7-17 or like 10-24, giving you 34 totals. Totes.
We'll see. I was a little torn on this one, but I think.
Yeah. Both defenses have been playing better. That's why I went with the under in this one.
All right.
Battle of the T's. TTs.
The
Titans and the Texans in Houston. Titans are plus 3.5 points, and the over-under is 43 points. And the Texans are trying to get back into the playoff picture.
One game out.
Yeah, they still could
And
do it.
Texans
Like depending
tied
on what's
the division.
I was about to say, depending on what's going on with Trevor Lawrence, because if he still got the high ankle sprain, he just hasn't been playing as well as he should have been.
Concussion, high ankle sprain. Just let the man die already. He clearly wants to.
Right? Just push him off the bridge.
At least this season does.
Yeah, right.
There's plenty in Jacksonville. Trust me, I've been there. There's bridges everywhere.
He'll be fine.
They got rivers, they got bays, they got lakes, they got the ocean. There's bridges everywhere. In fact, there's a really big one right outside of Jacksonville Stadium. So
yeah, if they lose, they could just wheel them right off.
Exactly.
But
yeah, and of course the Titans pick number 7 right above, right behind us. There again, a team that might sit there and say they need a quarterback, even though they drafted one the last 2 years. It's not like Will Levis is lit up. It's not like Malik Willis is lit up.
Yeah, I was about to say Malik's no good. I mean, Will Levis, I think they might go get a draft for a quarterback, but I doubt it because like Levis had a lot of hype behind him. Like he hasn't really had that. Wasn't like he's played the whole year. He was back up to
no. And I'm not suggesting that Will Levis won't become anything. I'm not suggesting that at all.
Yeah.
I'm not huge on Levis, but if you sit there and pick number 8 like they are now, and you go, or pick number 7, sorry, and you go, here's Jaden Daniels. Do I go there?
Possibly.
I'm not saying Jaden Daniels will even be there. I'm just saying, throwing up an example. You know what I mean? Like,
no, I got you.
Conversation's going to be had in the room. I'll guarantee you that.
You have to.
Yeah,
but
I bet you. I'll tell you once. No, I bet you that man puts coffee mate in his freaking milk like he should.
There we go. But especially after this week when the Texans win, they cover and they do it in a good fashion in the over.
Oh, good fashion there. Good show.
Oh, good. Jolly good fashion. Tip top.
Yeah, I'm with you on that 100%. Texans and Texans.
Cool. Over? Under?
That's where we're different. You got the over. I got the under. I don't think there's going to be a lot of points scored because this Texans offense is just a little bit banged up here. Between C.J. Stroud, Tank Dell being out, it's just not the same offense right now.
No. All right. Up next, you got the Raiders going in to play the Colts. The Raiders.
Against the Colt McCoys.
Yes, Colt McCoys. The Raiders are +3, and the over-under is 43.5 points. The Raiders have been playing balls out since Antonio Pierce took over.
They should really put pants on then.
Yeah.
Really should put pants on, guys.
I mean, especially after winning last week against Kansas City. I think
especially always. You wear the public, you wear pants, goddammit.
Yes. But
please tell me you're not anti-pants.
I'm a shorts guy.
Especially when you're sitting at the desk and I have no clue what you're wearing.
Nothing underneath.
Going commando for the show.
Yeah, the Raiders are still somehow in the hunt for the wild card, which is impressive. They're mathematically in it. Hypothetically, probably not going to go make it to the playoffs, but mathematically there. Colts need to hold on to their wild card spot. They have been playing that AFC battle for the wild card. It's been very interesting.
Yes. There's so many teams that are in it this year, I feel like. Like usually at this point, it's like, okay, it's this team or that team. There's like 5 teams that are like within a game. It's weird how like half the league is like right around 500 basically.
Well, I was about to say, I feel like the whole shift in dynamics of like who's good, who's bad. Like 10 years ago, I say like, oh, the Pats are going to not only miss the playoffs, they're going to have a top 5 draft pick.
You know,
everyone probably laughing.
I think this is part of why I am so big on this draft class of quarterbacks. Not just because the Giants need a quarterback. Dude, the NFL need quarterbacks.
Like, don't be surprised if you see like people spend some capital on good backups this year.
No, but what I'm saying though is, tell me who's the stud quarterbacks right now. Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, who hasn't looked fantastic.
Joe Burrow.
Yes. Josh Allen.
Is he? A lot of questions with him lately with the turnovers and all. Tua?
He's always had
Jalen Hurts, Brock Purdy. I mean,
you could maybe like not make a case for all 3 of those guys right there.
I'm just saying, there's a ton of star spots in this NFL right now that are not being filled up by quarterbacks.
Yeah, you're right.
The NFL needs this to be that kind of class. This needs to be the 84 or the 04. Ooh, holy shnikey. I just thought about
2024.
Wait, I just thought, you know what? Is it 85 actually? Because I'm talking about the Marino, Jim Kelly.
Right? Every 20 years, a great
83. It was
generation of
83. It was 83. I knew it was right around that time period. That was 83. And then you had the 04, obviously, with the Eli, Big Ben, and Phillip Rivers, which you can say, yeah, it's only 3 quarterbacks. But guess what, guys? That's almost 10% of the league right there.
Who also dominated in the league for 10 years plus.
Exactly. All right. Anyway, we get sidetracked again.
Yes. Getting sidetracked, but Drew, it's your turn. What do you think about this game?
Which game we were talking about? I'm kidding.
Raiders and Colts.
Raiders and the Colts. I'm messing. Let me just grab my new fridge now that I have a fridge. Grab a beer. Listen, I'm telling you, it's the greatest thing. Thanks, Mom. She got me a little mini fridge to put next to my podcast studio here. So,
hopefully some beers too.
No, I just buy the beers. But that's fine.
Yeah.
So, Raiders, and you mentioned, I mean, it's like ever since Antonio Pierce came into this team, and you know what it is? I don't even think Antonio Pierce is that good, and I'm going to say that, and I've said that from the get-go.
He's a leader among men.
It's not even that. I still don't think he's that good. They just hated Josh McDaniels so much they would have rallied around anyone. That's what it boils down to. Like, you could have put like one of the most hated coaches ever. You could have put like Nathaniel Hackett there. You could have put what's his name that coached the Jets and the Dolphins there?
That guy.
Adam Gase. You could put him there. And they would have rallied around him. Because he's not the biggest jerk in the NFL. But that being said, they're rallying around him because he's not Josh McDaniels. I got them to win. I got them to cover, obviously. And I got them also in the under. Because I don't think there'll be a lot of points in this game. It's not going to be that kind of game. But I think they're going to do it. I think they're going to win it by a good touchdown.
Oh, you're taking the Raiders to win?
I am. We're differing this one.
We are different. I did agree with the under, but I'm taking the Colts to win this game. They've been playing some good football. I'm getting behind the Garner Mitchell's in Indianapolis. The porn stash. The dirty Sanchez.
That's a different thing entirely. That's not a mustache.
Yes. Touche. Well, it is one. Just anyway, you got the Panthers.
Next thing he was talking about rusty trombones and all.
You right? Snowballs. You got the Panthers going into Jacksonville. Playing the poor Trevor Lawrence is over here. Panthers are +7. The over-under is 38 in this game. And the Panthers are just riding off to the sunset this year. They got 2 wins and the terrible draft picks. Dude, and then you got
the
Jaguars.
This may go down as one of the worst trades in I won't say ever because there's just plenty of bad ones. This may be one of the worst in like the last, recent memory here because you give up what turns out to be the first overall pick in the draft to get the first overall pick in the draft in a weaker quarterback class.
Should have held that for one more year.
And then you picked the wrong goddamn quarterback. And you gave up your star receiver. And what have they been looking for all year long? A star receiver to go ahead and play with Bryce Young.
Saying like, literally, the answer.
It was well known at the trade deadline. They were determined to try to trade for a good receiver. Yeah. Really shitty trade, guys. Sorry. I'm on a ranting mood today. I don't know what it is.
I was about to say, you are.
I'm in a ranting mood. We're an hour and 20 minutes in. We still have half the games to go.
I know. This is crazy.
We're going to go for the record of longest episode ever. Might as well split it into 2 episodes.
But yeah, I'm going to
snap my fingers, kill half of you off real quick, and we'll start this movie all over again.
5 years later. Yeah, I'm going to take the Jags to win this game. They have to, but that offense has looked as explosive as they were. They started getting hot mid through the year after a slow start, but there's too many injuries. So I do think the Panthers will keep it a little closer than a lot of people would like to see it, and they'll cover that spread in the under.
I'm with you 100%. I think the spread's too large considering how bad the Jaguars have been the last couple of weeks. Jags, Panthers under.
Perfect. Cool. Up next, our game. We'll talk about this later, but we got the Rams
tomorrow night.
The Giants.
Tomorrow night, guys. That is the preview episode, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Be there or be square.
Yes.
Giants are +6 in this game.
It's not hip to be square in this scenario.
And the over-under is 44.5
I got that song in my head now.
Hip to be square. Anyway.
We said it's not hip to be square. God damn it. Anyway, you want to go first?
Rams over.
Okay. Rams Giants over.
Ooh. All right. Cardinals are going into Philadelphia. Battle of the Birds. Bird. Bird's the word. More songs. Bird.
Cheesecake. The cheesesteak versus the burrito.
Burrito. Anyway,
I'll take the chimichanga, please. I don't know who had the idea of putting a burrito in a fucking fryer, but genius. Like, we needed the Budweiser Real American Heroes. Somebody should have made that goddamn commercial.
100%.
Real American Heroes. Mr. Put a flour tortilla, putting it in the burrito, and then put it in the fryer.
I miss those commercials.
Like that. Genius. God damn it. We need more fried food in our lives. My cardiologist disagrees, but whatever.
I was about to say.
Mr. High
Cards
Cholesterol,
are
Mr. High
plus 10.5 in this game, and the over-under is 48.
Yeah.
This the Eagles need to win out to win that division.
Who gave this ending of the season? The Giants, the Cardinals, the Giants. Like, seriously?
Yeah. Well, listen, the Cardinals have been playing that schedule. Cardinals have been playing the NFC East pretty tough this year. So, and the way that the Eagles have been looking, I think it might be a little bit of a trap on there.
It's a trap.
It's a trap. But yeah, what are you taking in this game, Drew? Before I go,
listen, you and I are, I believe, in agreement on this one here, except for the over/under. Yeah, it looks like so. Eagles to win, because let's be honest, they're the better team. But again, there's something wrong in Philadelphia. There's something. I mean, they barely beat us. They lost 3 games prior to that. They're just playing shitty teams now. So I think barely beat the Cardinals as well. And again, 10.5-point spread. Are you shitting me? For a team that's lost 3 out of the last 4 and barely beat one of the worst teams in the league in us. I hate when I like talk shit about us and this little thing, but it's the truth. It's like I feel bad saying it even. But again, we're top 5 pick in the draft.
Well, I'm just saying
makes us one of the worst teams in the league.
The Cards spanked Dallas.
Yeah, but they played Dallas when they were missing half their offensive line. In all fairness,
they
Dallas won the game still. I'm not saying otherwise. But that was like, it feels like a season ago. That's back when they had Josh Dobbs still a quarterback. That was 5 teams ago for him.
They almost beat the Commanders, and it took us to go crazy in the second half to beat them. They've just been playing this division pretty tough. That's all I'm saying.
Yes.
I'm not saying they're good. I'm just saying they're playing tough. They're good jobbers.
All right.
Yeah. Up next. Exciting NFC South game. You got
never hear that phrase.
Going into the Tampa Bay. Saints are +3 on the road, and the over-under is 42.5. There's a lot to be said about this game because Saints lose, they're out of the playoff hunt. Bucks are currently leading the NFC South. They win, makes it a little spicy over there. And then you're talking about so spicy.
Like a chimichanga.
Yeah.
I want a chimichanga now. I really want a chimichanga now. Those are so good when you make them right. Oh, my God.
But, yeah, it's a battle for the NFC South because Atlanta, like we just talked about them before, they're still in the hunt too.
Yes.
So there's a lot of implications on this game.
That's South. No one wants to win.
Yeah, which the 5th seed probably wants to play them.
Yes, I mean it's but Dallas. Dallas wants to play them. If they're gonna have a chance to win on the road, that's who they're gonna win against.
But the Bucks, they've looked better this the second half of the season so far. Not saying it's good, not that it's great, but they've been looking a lot better.
Great.
Great. But yeah, I'm taking the Bucks to win this game. I'm taking the Bucks to cover. I'm taking the Indiana because, yay, defense.
Hooray, beer.
Yeah, it's good and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, again, I'm with you. Bucks. I got the over though. Something tells me there's going to be some points scored in this game. Something just does. I don't know why. It's just a gut feeling I have. I think it's going to be like a 21 to 27 kind of game at that point there. That's
I wouldn't be surprised. Divisional games with these guys is either like 7-3 or
I'm just hoping for my sake because I said over that Jameis Winston starts playing. He'll help both teams score.
I've been talking about that guy starting. At least they're not going to win the games, but at least it's more exciting to watch as a fan.
He had an opportunity to be traded at the deadline. And they talked him out of it, saying that he was this close to like possibly taking the job away from Derek Carr. That worked out well.
That's
never trust the GMs. It's the same asshole who probably told Russell Wilson they take care of him.
Yeah, that's a douchey.
Yeah.
But all right, up next, this game should be the shellacking of the week, or it's a trap game. Either or. You get the Niners going into DC playing the Commanders. Commanders are plus 13.5 points. And that over-under is 49.5 points. Commanders, their season's done. But the Niners currently have the home field advantage for the NFC. And Commanders got pick 3. So, yay, losing for pick 3. And, the Niners, after getting upset by Baltimore last week, is going to come out and make a statement in this game. I believe, but I think it's your turn. I went first in the last one.
No, you're good. I'll tell you this. I am rooting for the Commanders so much to win this game for multiple reasons. Because it hurts their draft stock. But also, if they have let's say they have an offensive output that's just insane the next 2 weeks, it makes you question that much more. Do we keep Sam Howell? And let's be honest, I don't think they're going to keep Sam Howell because they benched him 2 weeks in a row now at this point for Jacoby Beef Brissett. I mean,
Brissett chimichangas.
It's brisket, but whatever, Yeah. Who doesn't love a good brisket? But listen, I look at it this perspective of if the Commanders can pull up the next couple of wins, they can look really good on offense. It gives pause, especially when they're going to be in position, because I've heard they were scouting Marvin Harrison Jr., which makes no sense. So listen, receiver. I don't know why they're so big on receiver in Washington. Always. Receiver's not why you're not winning. You're not winning because your offensive line sucks. Your quarterback is suspect. You traded away all your pass rushers. That's not why you're losing.
Yes, it's definitely you get Scary Terry. Anywhere else, he'd be having a phenomenal.
Oh, dude, I wish he would go somewhere else. He's being freaking ruined. I don't even know. I have the information in front of me as far as his contract situation. But to me, listen, Scary Terry, get the hell out as soon as you can.
Yeah,
get out.
Listen, when Bill Belichick gets fired this year and he goes over to LA playing with either when he goes out to be a Chargers head coach, he'll take you with you.
It's just like I said. To me, it's crazy. It really is. I'm trying to look right now to see where his contract scenario is. That's how for some reason I care so much about this. Let's see. Here we go. Terry McLaurin. Stupid pop-up ad. I don't want to demo your program today. Let's see. So he's gonna. Okay, so he's got. God damn, he got a good deal. So he's getting paid $11 million this year. He's getting paid 24 next, 25 the year after that. God damn. So he'll be a Commander for at least one more year before they can cut him. God damn. Woo. That is a lot of money. And the problem is they backloaded the contract. They backloaded the contract like crazy. They even added a void deal in 26 or $5 million just to get this done. So, yeah, he'll be able for at least a couple of years. But that guy is just his talent being wasted. He's like one of my underrated wide receivers in this league. I'd put him and Amon-Ra St. Brown both at number 1 and 2 as the most underrated wide receivers in this league.
Well, talking any fantasy player, Amon-Ra St. Brown is very highly decorated.
I know, but you don't ever hear his name talked about as one of the best, and he is one of the best around.
He is, hands down. He's the best around.
I'm waiting for it.
All right, up next, we finally get into the 4 o'clock games. Granted, there's not that many. You got the Steelers going into Seattle because it's always raining there. I don't know what that has to do with anything.
There's no points scored on Monday Night Football.
Oh, there's going to be 0. I'm going to take the under on that one. But yes, the Steelers are going into Seattle playing the Seahawks. The Steelers are plus 3.5 in this game. The over-under is at 41. And the Steelers need to get one more win or a tie to give themselves another season with a winning record.
It's insanity. Not a losing record. That's the thing.
Sorry,
they were 500 last year. They were 8-1 last year. But I think they've never had a losing season under Mike Tomlin.
No, which is amazing.
Who's been their coach since 1937.
That's what it feels like.
And, oh my God, he's been there forever. And you know what the scary thing is? He still looks the same.
He really does.
Hasn't aged a goddamn day. Like, seriously. Like, someone do a side-by-side photo. Look at him. Like, it's insanity. Like, I don't know. Whatever skin treatment that man is using.
Yeah. Please mail it over to us. I don't want to look
old. I'm looking old as hell. I want to look young again. Looking like that lady at the end of the Titanic that tossed the freaking necklace.
Yeah, the rock. Yeah.
But yeah, it's going to be a fun game overall. It really is.
I think so.
I think it's two closely matched teams, and let's be honest, some of the other games this 4 o'clock might not be the best. This might be the one to watch.
Yeah, I mean, there's not many good options, but this is probably the one. It's either going to be a shellacking or a very close game.
I think pretty close. I really do, but it also depends on the health of the Seahawks. I'll put it this way: I wouldn't put a damn dollar on this game. I would not.
It is, yeah, it's scary just because like the Steelers, they're house of cards too. They're playing above their potential. He's got a great head coach, but Seahawks are a better team, and they're a little banged up. So it's like, and you got Sneaky Pete too.
Yep.
Sneaky Pete. So what do you got in this?
The best coach versus the oldest coach.
Just about.
It is. He's the oldest coach, but I think he's older than Belichick.
Yeah, Pete Carroll is the oldest.
Yeah.
He's 72.
He doesn't look it.
No.
He looks like he's in his 60s. He doesn't look. But like Bill Belichick looks it.
He looks like he's seen some.
Yeah.
A lot of hard times.
Like he's seen some shit.
Yeah.
Like. I feel like he's like the grumpy grandpa, and like Pete Carroll's like the fun grandpa.
The fun one. Yeah, it's about to say.
Like, he's the one that's like taking into the zoo and making animal noises the whole time in the car on the way over, and like got a picnic packed up and ready to go. Like
Belichick, I'll turn this car around right now.
Panda.
Yeah. Although it's funny because you hear like off the field, like he's actually a really fun guy to be around.
I told you at the time I met him the one time. I mean, he is not even like you couldn't even like. It's not a guy you'd want to have a conversation with.
He just doesn't.
See, that's where he was at. And don't get me wrong, I'd love to actually pick the guy's brain football wise for a while, but it was a really brief encounter. But yeah, anyway.
Yeah.
You get the over under on this?
I thought it at 41.
I don't think you did.
That 41.
Okay, so. I got the Steelers to win this because of the fact that they're going for that record. I think that means a lot to Mike Tomlin. It means a lot to the Steelers because of that. And talk about some offense. They finally showed a little offense there last week. So I got Steelers, and I got over as well because the Seahawks defense hasn't been the best overall, but the Seahawks offense, if they're healthy, will put up some points. 41 is not a ton at that point, so I got the over.
Yeah, we're pretty off on this one. I did take the Steelers on the spread, but I took the Hawks to win this game in the under.
Okay,
just with the way that
like I said, this is a close one. I wouldn't put $1 on it. I wouldn't put $1 on it.
Paso.
I'd buy that for $1.
Chargers go into the Mile High City playing the Broncos. Chargers are plus 5.5 points, and the over/under is 37 points. This is not the game that I want to be watching, especially after what they did to Russell. I actually kind of hope I see Russell go in.
I just thought of that. You know that Mile High Stadium thing and everything, obviously, for years. They should call it the Mile High Club for the people that get their numbers retired. It'd be hilarious.
Right? Or like season ticket holders, Mile High Club.
You can imagine the emails going around to all the season ticket holders. Today we celebrate being inducted into the Mile High Club. That'd be spectacular. Seriously. John Elway, get on this.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about this. That'd be fantastic. We talked about this earlier anyway.
right.
The Broncos are mathematically still in it. Probably not going to go there, especially with benching their starting quarterback for junk. No offense.
I don't know if I want them to be in it or not, but you know what? I want them to win because they're going to go for a quarterback. We talked about that. Anybody who wants a quarterback, I want them to win right now. Except us.
And the Chargers are pretty banged up over here. So I am going to go with the Broncos to win this game. The Chargers are going to cover it. And I also take the under because the whole situation going around, both of them not having their starting quarterback.
You know what? I'm with you. I got the over the one of the points. That's the only thing I differ on. Again, it's just because it's so low. It's not because I think this would be an offensive game. I mean, you could be 21-20, and all of a sudden, I mean, it's going to be a really close game, I feel like. But I just
close game, and Broncos defense trumps.
Chargers.
I'll say
it's probably going to be a difference of, a touchdown. Basically, it's going to be one of those kind of games. So, but again, you could. It's just like I said, it's so easy to get 37 points. That's not difficult in this league. So to me, it's like, it's you're counting on one guy to go nuts basically to have it happen. There's enough offensive guys in the game for one of them to go nuts. Whether it's one of the good receivers for the Chargers, Austin Eckler, or is it going to be one of the receivers from the Broncos that finally shows up after we've heard about how good they are for 7 years, but they never do anything. Seriously, how many years? Cortland Sutton. Oh, Jerry Jeudy. They don't do shit. They're not that good, guys.
No. I mean, it could also be a 14-7 game, which would take the under, but
we'll see. We'll see.
Two backup quarterbacks starting this game.
Maybe it's the beer talking.
Maybe it's the beer.
Maybe it's the beer.
All right. Last
way to find out. Have another one.
The Bengals go into Kansas City to play those chefs who are not sous chefs this year. They have not been able to put it together.
Oh, they are sous chefs. They're not head chefs.
Touche. The Bengals are plus
like the soup
7.
Chef. Like you could make this chicken broth. That's what you're delegated to this year.
Yes, chicken broth.
All of a sudden, Kadarius Toney puts the chicken broth on the wrong table.
Yeah, the over under this game is 44.5 points. This is. What can I say about this game? You got Browden playing for the Bengals, which they still have a small hope for the wild card. Not too much. The Chiefs clinch the AFC with this win. So at least they'll be able to get into the playoffs for sure. I mean, the Bengals haven't looked bad on Browning, but Drew, tell me your thoughts.
You know what? You and I again are so close to being identical on this. I think this week we're gonna win or lose based on the over/under. That's where you and I disagree a lot on.
You've been a lot better at it this year than I have.
Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens. I got the Chiefs to win this game. I just think they're obviously, they're going for, the playoffs. They're still winning, trying to win for something here because there's still a positioning battle going on to a certain degree. And I think the Bengals though will cover because, as you mentioned, Brownlee's been doing pretty good at quarterback. Let's be honest, he looks better than some of the guys who started all year. Some teams. This is a guy that may be playing himself into a situation where he's a trade candidate. To be honest,
I mean, it's not like he's Adrian O'Connell who only had a reception yards in the first quarter of the game last week.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I think overall you're looking at a scenario where they'll get close, but they're not quite going to get it because in the end, Browning's still not Burrow. And they've been close, very close with Burrow year in, year out there. And the Chiefs, just for whatever reason, tend to have the Bengals number, except the 1 year. Unfortunately, they couldn't get that Super Bowl victory in LA for them. I feel bad for Bengals fans. I want them to win because they've gone, again, I have a lot of respect for people that have been fans of shitty franchises. Let's be honest, the Bengals have been kind of a shitty franchise.
Yeah, they take you to the prom, but they don't get you to that dance.
Nope. Nope. It's like they kind of sit down afterwards in the nerd corner with their fruit punch.
Not even spiking it. Just
so Chiefs win, Bengals cover. I got over on the points though, and that's to be honest, the least thing that I'm confident in. I wouldn't put any money on the over under this game because I can see either direction. I really can, but I'm more confident the Chiefs Bengals part of it there. I'm really confident in the Chiefs to win this, and I'm pretty confident in the points portion there.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. Only I took the under in this. I think of all the sides of football, I think the Chiefs defense is going to be.
It can't be that many sides of football. It's a round object.
Well, you got points. I guess that's not a side. Well, there's 4 sides of pigskin that come together and make it a ball.
There we go.
But I'm saying if you're going to have to pick between the Chiefs offense, defense, Bengals offense, defense, the best unit on the football on that field is going to be the Chiefs defense.
Oh yeah.
So, all right, we finally did it. Sunday night,
which is the main game because there's no Monday Night Football game this week, guys. I don't know. All of my rowdy friends are here on Monday night. You know what that means, guys? I should say that means we can do a 9:00 episode on Monday. We don't have to worry about competing with one of the games too.
Ooh.
Oh yes.
Ooh.
So, all right. Tell them who's playing and what they've won.
You got those cheeseheads going in to play the Mullins. You got the Packers going into Minnesota playing the Vikings.
The Mullins versus the Mullets.
Yes.
The Wisconsin Mullets
+2. And the over-under in this game is 46.
I feel like both these cities, the people that live Green Bay and the people of Minneapolis would have mullets just to keep the back of their necks warm. Like it wouldn't be a party statement. It wouldn't be a rebellious thing. It's just like it's cold. It's like
the back of my neck gets cold with the wind blowing off those lakes. God,
I wouldn't know here in Florida, of course, but I've heard.
Yeah. A fun little fact though about this game, it is both these teams are 7-8.
Yeah.
Both in the hunt for mathematically making it to a wild card spot. So there's a lot to ride in this game. Drew,
basically whoever loses this is out of the playoff hunt.
Yep. And to your divisional rival, you have to lose. Drew, what are you thinking about this one here?
Yeah, I got the Packers to win. I think the problem is the Vikings are being set up in this cluster of an offense, basically, where it's like they don't even know what quarterback. Last I heard, they said they haven't decided between all 3 quarterbacks in the roster. Is it going to be Mullins? Is it going to be Josh Dobbs? Is it going to be what's his name? Why am I drawing a blank here on their rookie quarterback? But it's like it's just. They're shit and shit. Let's call it what it is.
Yeah,
let's call it what it is, guys. And granted, you don't tend to losing Kirk Cousins. He's a guy who's pretty much been healthy his whole career. But you guys better prepare for it because he's out of a contract at the end of this year. And from all intents and purposes, the rumors coming out of Minnesota was this is the last go around with Kirk Cousins, guys. So
Yeah.
I want the Vikings to win because they're probably going to go after a quarterback as well. How many teams are going to get a quarterback this year? It's going to be interesting with this. It really is with this draft.
I mean, you also got to think about how many quarters, like I said, how many quarterbacks got banged up this year that people are going to be putting more time into drafting a healthy quarterback.
I know, but again, if Russell Wilson and you're going to have Kirk Cousins potentially both hit the market and have one of the best quarterback drafts in a long time. This is going to be an interesting offseason. It really is.
It's like we're going to be in an Oprah. You get a quarterback. You get a quarterback.
I'm not just trying to hype up the offseason because we suck this year. I'm just saying it's honest truth. It's going to be an interesting offseason from the quarterback position specifically.
Yes.
But yeah, I got the Packers to win. I got Packers to, obviously, cover because they got the positive on their end. This is one, and again, I know we disagree. I go crazy in the over-unders this week here. But I got the unders, and it's mostly because of the fact that the Vikings can't score shit.
Typically, you're right. And it's both these teams all year. They're either on or they're off, and they got a lot of riding on this game here. And I think they're going to come out full swinging in the divisional rival game. And I think it's going to be one of those games where they are going to get nitty and gritty, and they're going to throw the ball nitty and gritty.
Like the nitty gritty dirt band, Mr. Bojangles.
Both these defenses aren't that great, but the offenses can move the ball around. Just the Vikings find ways to lose games.
The Vikings offense has not been very good. Bless you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I tried to mute in time. It didn't work.
Didn't get that mute button in time that time. Sneak attack.
But yeah.
Yeah. Like I said, it's going to be a fun week because, like I said, this is that time of the year where every single game matters for something. Whether it's draft position, whether it's a playoff picture, it matters. So enjoy the week, guys. We'll be back again for you guys tomorrow night. Like I said, 8 Eastern Standard Time there. Of course, we're on, as always, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch. Of course, Rob's favorite,
Drew's LinkedIn.
And now, again, we're on Instagram. Oh, yes, the Instagram.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes. So, and of course, we're always on the audio podcast the next day, available on Apple, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon, Google Podcasts, all the big ones there. So enjoy, subscribe, hit the like button, share to your friends. Do us a favor and help us out here with that. So we appreciate it. And of course, like I said, we'll be back again tomorrow. And of course, we'll also be back again for you guys on Sunday, doing our post-game coverage as soon as the game is over. We'll be going back to that again. That was just the 1 week last week because of Christmas. So we both had some eggnog and everything and didn't get home till late. And I shouldn't say eggnog. Mine was candy cane whiskey.
I had apple bourbon.
See?
And then got a stomach bug. Yay.
Yeah. Not a good combo. But I don't know about you guys up there. You can let me know if it's happening up there. I haven't talked to many Jersey people lately. But there's a big bug going around down here. And it's like some kind of upper respiratory thing. And it's like it's like people are feeling the effects for weeks.
Oh.
So
this ran its course and pretty fast.
Yeah. Yeah. So keep an eye out if there's traveling, because let's be honest, Jersey people, New York people, Connecticut people, all you little tri-staters come down to my Florida all the time. So be prepared. as Scar would say from The Lion King. It's coming. It'll spread probably. It is what it is. Yeah. We've already been through one pandemic. We got this. All right, guys. We'll see you guys again tomorrow night. As always, appreciate you guys for listening in. And like I said, have a good, safe evening there. And we'll see you guys tomorrow night. As always, Giant fans.
Go, G-Man!
Go, G-Man!
Thanks for listening to Two Giant Goofballs, a New York Giants podcast. We appreciate your support. If you made it this long, you must have enjoyed it. So I am sure you have followed us on all the social media platforms. Of course, you have subscribed to the show on your favorite app as well and given us a top rating. Right? Right? Right?
Thank you to those who have signed up for our silver gold levels of membership at buymeacoffee.com/2giantgoofballs.